Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Living Simply with Dr. Gina. So today is Wednesday's live Q&A. And I had a great question in my Women of Clarity Facebook group by Ellouise Smith. And her question was this: how can someone not feel insecure after much infidelity in different relationships if your new partner notices an attractive woman? So I thought that was a really good question, and let's go ahead and unpack this. There are multiple layers to this question, so I'll do my best to answer it to your satisfaction, Ellouise. First of all, what you mentioned, how not to feel insecure. So there are many levels. So how not to feel insecure. So the insecurity is a symptom of something else. And that's what we're going to dive into today. So I have my notes here because I like to prepare a little bit. And people who've worked with me, who still work with me, know that I like to work on the cause of the symptoms versus try to patch up symptoms, because it's going to pop up, bubble up some other way. So if we look at the aspect that you mentioned, Ellouise, that there's a pattern of infidelity. So there's an outer aspect to this and an inner aspect to this. So first of all, let's look at the outer. So the other person versus you. If there's a pattern of infidelity, I would often question my clients, how are your boundaries with your partner, right? Both ways. Do they respect your boundaries? Do you respect their boundaries? Do you teach your partners how you want to be treated? Are you clear on how you want to feel in a relationship? Are you clear on your values, right? What are your deal breakers? What are you willing to accept and not accept? Have you been tolerant of certain behaviors or tolerant way too long? So sometimes we let behaviors go. Sorry, my charger is going to die here. Sometimes we let behaviors go for too long because we're not too sure. We're scared the person's going to leave us, especially if it's a new relationship. So it's all new, we're in love, and we tolerate things way too long. And when I say things, I mean red flags. So are you having dinner with this person in a restaurant and they're constantly gawking at other women, or you're in the middle of a conversation and the head goes this way? There are signs that we're willing or unwilling to tolerate. Are you noticing in these relationships the precursors, the red flags to infidelity? Were you part of the infidelity? Meaning, did your partners cheat on their ex-partners with you? This is a telltale sign that there's a pattern here. Even if they left someone for you, it tells you that they are willing to betray someone versus breaking up with them and then starting a new relationship with someone. Are you selective about your partners? When there's a partner versus one-off, I tend to think there's a repetition here. And that brings us to the inner. In your day-to-day life, how much do you tolerate disrespect, crossing of boundaries? Are you even aware of your boundaries and what's okay and what's not okay? Do you miss the red flags? Do you ignore your gut feeling? You know inside there's something not right, but you ignore it. How's your self-esteem? If it's about your self-esteem and your insecurities, you're not confident with your own appearance or even accepting. You don't need to be drop dead gorgeous, a movie star, but know you're worthy regardless of what you look like. And when we're our self-esteem is healthy, we're not threatened by other women who might be prettier than we are. Do you select partners based on your fear of being alone? When we're scared of being alone, we tend to, how do I say this? We tend to settle for, less than what we deserve. So do you know you deserve a great person? I don't know if you date men or women or both, so I don't want to refer to him or her, but are you selective? Are you picky? Because it is okay to be picky, and it's not being a diva to be picky about who we want to be with. Also, part of the inner is your attachment style, and that comes from childhood, right? Do you have a secure attachment? If you had a secure attachment to your caregivers, you won't be threatened by your partner finding other women pretty, because you will be securely attached to your partner. But if you have an insecure attachment with your original parents or caregivers, we tend to repeat that pattern, and we select partners who tend to not be consistently present for us and who repeat that pattern of insecure attachment. So if you do a bit of research, there's quite a few podcasts on that, on adult attachment. So if you have an insecure attachment, even if you have a partner who is secure and shows you how much they love you, you might be insecure. And then that requires that you work on your own issues, and that this insecurity is not necessarily reflective of your partner finding someone else prettier or more attractive, but that's something that totally belongs to you, and that's worth working on. So if it's your self-esteem, your attachment style, your own confidence about yourself, so there's the part that could totally belong to you, but there's also the part, as I was mentioning, that could be you just pick the wrong partners, men or women who cheat, who betray, who don't respect you, or people who don't have the same values as you do. Are you clear from the beginning in the relationships? I have a good podcast episode on how to make a partnerships successful. So you might want to find that episode, because I don't want to go back all over the items in this podcast episode. So I always tell clients too, the outer world reflects our inner world. So if you've been betrayed multiple times, cheated on, ask yourself, how do you betray yourself? How do you cheat on yourself? And it doesn't have to be exactly the same with a partner, but how do you betray or lie to yourself? So if you're not authentic, you don't show your real side to your partner because you're scared they're going to leave you, well, you're being dishonest, right? You're not showing your true colors. So always look, the outer world reflects our inner world in any situation. And it's always good to ask ourselves, where do I do that to myself? And use a bit of imagination, because it could look a bit different, right? So if you have a gut feeling, and it could be something tiny or big, right? You do something, but you really don't want to do it. Well, you're disrespecting yourself. You're disrespecting your needs. You're disrespecting your boundaries. And that will be reflected in your outer world. So the outer world is there to teach us about our shadow, about our blind spots, about the things we need to work on ourselves. So these partners, although they've betrayed you and cheated on you, which is terrible and very painful, they're here to teach you a lesson. And once you will get that lesson, you will stop repeating that pattern. So it's very important that you work on yourself, because in the end, it's all about you. It's How you respond to people is about you. It's not about your current partner. It's really owning up to your part in it. I'm not talking about blame, but whether it's your perceptions, your self-esteem. And in the end, if it's just a partner who's disrespectful, well, then you know what to do. Just change partners, get rid of them, break up with them. And that way you'll regain your power back. The other part I wanted to add is it's normal to notice attractive people. We see them in magazines, on the streets. There's nothing wrong to notice that other people are attractive. It's normal. I'm sure you notice attractive people. It's how we respond to that attraction, right? We can find someone attractive and still be respectful to the person in front of us. So it's the other question you want to ask yourself is it me that's reacting to noticing another attractive woman, or is my partner actually being the one that's disrespectful? So it's weed out what belongs to you and what belongs to the other person. The other part too is, as humans, we tend to compare. Even if there's a woman who's attractive, outwardly attractive, and you think they're prettier than you are, that's just your opinion. Your partner might find you just as beautiful, because what attracts us to people is a combination of the inside and the outside. And often we can find someone that we don't know very attractive, and when we get to know them, we don't find them attractive anymore, and vice versa. The other part is your insecurity a fear-based response or a trauma response? So if your current partner is a really, really positive match for you, and it's just your own thing, your own fear, because you've been traumatized by past infidelities, then your current fear is based on the past. So you need to do the inner work on weeding out those thoughts and letting them go. Validate your fear. It's normal you're scared because you've been cheated on and it hurts. But then don't get fused with those thoughts. What if he's cheating? She's prettier than me. She's nicer than me. Let those thoughts go. Those thoughts are not useful, and they're based on your past history. So you want to notice, is it reality or is it your imagination? So is it self-esteem? Is it a trauma response? In the end, as you see, it all comes back to doing the inner work. And finally, if it's really an issue with your partner, then it's something to work out with him or her. If he or she exhibits inappropriate behavior that you're not comfortable with, it's very important that you sit together and discuss what your values are, what you're willing to accept and not accept, how you can compromise, how you want to be treated, how you want to feel in a relationship. And if this is new partnership, you might or might not, I'm not sure, feel comfortable being a bit vulnerable and speaking about your insecurity. And if he or she is securely attached, we'll understand that and we'll do whatever it takes to help your insecurities. And there's a great book on this. I think it's called Attached. I'll put it in the Facebook group if I have the wrong title. It's a really, really good book where partners will know what to do with each other if you don't have a secure attachment at the base. So that's my answer to your question, Ellouise, and I hope it was helpful. And always remember that we're responsible for our own reactions to people, whether our reactions are relating to our perceptions or to actual events happening that are out of our control. So all we can control is how we react, how we perceive things, and how we want to be with ourselves and with other people. And the inner work is the most important. And the foundation of everything is self-esteem, right? Confidence is not self-esteem. So work on your self-esteem, build a secure attachment with your partner, work on your mindset. If there's trauma, try to address the trauma and the fear response. Try to notice if it's from the past, if it's from the future. Either moments in time do not exist anymore. In this moment in time, is your current partner cheating or not? If he or she is not, you're safe. So remind yourself, right now I'm okay. X loves me, is with me. I have nothing to worry about. So have a beautiful day, everybody. And don't forget to post in the Facebook group or message me if you are not part of our Women of Clarity Facebook group. And if you have questions, just send them to me, whether via Insight Timer or email or via Facebook. I look forward to seeing you again, and have a beautiful week, everybody.